Welcome to Only Murders in My Mind. Hello listeners and welcome to this episode of Only Murders in My Mind with the lovely Liz Hedgecock.
Hello.
And the handsome Mike Jackson.
Oh, you're too kind. Too kind.
Oh,
What do you want?
I want the opportunity to promote my audiobook that should, when this goes out, be are available to listen to on YouTube. I'm looking at my editor now and he's nodding. So it's the first of the Warrington Detectives Searching for Evil, and I'm not sure, is it a couple of chapters at a time, John? Do we not know what?
Each chapter will be its own video.
Each chapter will be its own video. There, you heard it here. So look for that if you're interested in a free sort of read. Well, it's audio, isn't it? It's not really a read. You listen to it.
Is it going on a separate channel? It's not going on the...
It's going on a separate channel.
Separate channel?
Yeah,
I'll put a link to it in the description.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much. Will I be doing another one? No.
Oh, wait and see how this one does.
Oh, it was such hard work.
Oh,
It
So,
really was.
so how long do you think it took you?
12 months,
Right.
on and off.
Yeah.
wow.
Gaps for illness. Because I'm doing the characters and because John is so good as an editor, every time I got a sore throat or chest infection, my voice changed.
Mm.
And he'd go, "You can't do it yet. It doesn't sound like the person that started the book."
And I should imagine, John, it took quite a while to edit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
For me, the difficult part was the recording because we don't have a proper recording studio. If there's any other noise in the house,
It got picked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's done a sterling job.
I think what it goes to show is just it's not creating an audio
It's
book
a
is
big
not,
thing,
Yeah.
yeah. And when you think that some of these publishing houses are paying very, very famous actors to read it.
I now and again I mention that word that Liz doesn't like, AI.
Yes.
But I was experimenting the other day with 11 Labs only because they keep updating what
Well,
they
they will
can
do, won't they?
And now you can put in some script for them to read out a story. They've always had hundreds and hundreds of voices you can choose from, and they weren't necessarily bland in the past. They were quite good voices, but now what the AI is capable of doing is putting in the pauses or a bit of a giggle, or if you've written somebody whispers something, they'll say she whispered something.
Yeah.
It's getting more sophisticated, and I think it's an area that more people will go to create audiobooks because it is A, so much quicker, and B, so much cheaper.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the
But
thing
it does
is-
put people's jobs at risk as well.
Yeah, I mean, there are people who, probably make a good living as audiobook narrators, voice actors, and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, hopefully what will happen is, where it's possible and where people can afford it, they will still use real people to do the narration.
Yeah, but for somebody like me who, wouldn't make the money back in a month of Sundays, if this one was successful, maybe that's something I can explore.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
the
there is
next
stuff
one.
like royalty share as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where you hire somebody and basically, they're happy to do it on the basis that they will share the royalty with you for a certain
I'd be quite happy
period.
to do that.
Yeah, so that's an option too.
Yeah.
I've also heard of people who are going down the road of letting companies like 11 Labs use their voices for fee, of course.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think
I wouldn't.
things are changing a lot. But what are we going to discuss today?
Well, it's funny enough. It's a
More stealing.
yes. It's a subject that I thought we might have done before. I mean, we've been going 80 plus episodes now, and I'm surprised we've not discussed this one before.
Because we're getting into an early 90 episodes now.
Yeah.
Highwaymen, the
Stand
golden
and
age.
deliver.
Stand and deliver. The golden age of highway robbery.
Yes.
Golden age.
Yeah.
Well, for the highwaymen it was, yes.
And there was a lot of it going on, I'll
Yes,
tell
there was.
you now.
I didn't realise, when we talk about the golden age, of just what the time span is, because
I hadn't either. No.
The peak activity was from 1650 through to 1800.
I know, it's a long time,
a
wasn't
long
it?
time. Yeah.
But it was earlier than I thought.
Yes, much earlier than I thought.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's probably based on popular depictions
Yes.
of. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, who would like to start with probably the most famous one?
Well, I thought we might just talk about why it happened
Okay.
before, and then get into
people then.
Right.
Because when I found out it started as early as sort of 1650, I wondered why, and apparently it merged during the English Civil War, or just after the English Civil War.
Okay.
And one of the reasons they think it started then is there would have been a lot of men who had been involved as soldiers. After the Civil War, they weren't needed anymore.
Yep.
So
No job.
Cast aside.
Yeah, exactly.
Social upheaval, because the whole country was in a mess.
Yep. And no police.
And no police.
No organised police.
No. Poor road conditions.
Yeah.
And apparently, I didn't realise this either. There were some geographic hotspots. Hounslow Heath, which is west of London, Hampstead Heath, Bagshot Heath, which is in Surrey, Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, and the Scottish borders and Welsh marches.
So where it was a bit, that was a bit wild.
But you've missed a very famous one.
What was that?
Shooters Hill.
Where was that?
Oh, that's just out
Southeast London,
Southeast
yeah.
London,
Down the road from where I grew up.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay. So these highwaymen would follow obviously the routes that the coaches took.
Not just necessarily coach. I mean,
Well,
it's
they
depicted
hold
as
people,
coaches
weren't they?
or
Other
people on horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they picked places where there was going to be nobody about. They picked somewhere nice and remote that was on the stagecoach route or the,
Yeah.
And
they had to stick to those routes because it was bad enough anyway. The routes would be quite, treacherous, and wheels came off and all sorts of things on a regular basis. So the coaches really had no choice but to go on the route.
No, there wasn't a choice of roads. No, but goes back to what Liz was saying. There's this distinction between what actually happened, the historic reality, and the romantic legend that we have.
very much so.
Because most of these people were desperate men driven by poverty or debt, and violence was common.
Yeah.
Many victims were actually killed.
Yeah. And I mean, there's this whole phrase about, gentlemen of the road, and that's people who want to make it sound all, dashing and romantic.
Yeah, and many of them weren't.
No.
Vast majority. And also the punishment was hanging was the norm, often preceded by torture. And in fact, I think they used to put them
hung,
up.
drawn and quartered, that tells something.
I don't know, I suppose. I know they were put in giblets, is it?
Oh,
'Cause
gibbets.
Gibbets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and posted on the road
As a warning.
as a warning to others. Yeah.
Now I'm thinking,
You enjoy your tea, Carol.
slip.
But it was, as Liz said, it was gentlemen of the road, which is very much emerged in the 18th century literature, and all these tales of politeness and doffing their caps before they rob somebody.
I don't think they did.
Stories of robbing the rich to help the poor. It was all
Malarkey.
well. It's literature again.
Yeah.
It's what the broadsheets were writing about to make it, good reading.
I mean, the article I'm looking at here says there's a long history of treating highway robbers as heroes.
Yes.
If you think of like Robin Hood, for example.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think people think, oh, well, they were robbing rich people, so it didn't really matter. And, they were these like dashing people. And, I think, there is some subtext of, they're only doing it because they need to help people or, possibly feed a family or whatever.
Because when you think about Robin Hood was at a highway, him and his gang used to stop people on I know they did other things as well, but they used to stop coaches on the King's
going through the forest.
Highway, and take their money and everything. Yeah. Now, it would be a matter of history whether they dispersed that among the poor people or whether they kept it.
Well, again, many of these stories, like with the Highwaymen, there were ballads being written, there were broadsheets being written, so that they became popular with the populace, with the people, through the broadsheets and what have you. And, a story about a debt-ridden ex-soldier shooting somebody for a few silver coins is not going to make much of a ballad or a newspaper story.
I mean,
Gentleman Jim.
Yeah, fast forward to the 1920s, and same thing happened with Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
You know, they were murdering people.
They were villains.
They were bloodthirsty murderers. Yet they got this popular thing about them being, you know, given back to the ordinary people and robbing people that didn't really matter and all that sort of thing. So it goes around all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the other thing that came through is the sort of whole class tension thing. You know, that these people were seen as rebels against authority.
Yes.
You know, they were stealing from the rich.
Yeah.
Again, it sold newspapers.
Yeah. And the thing is, it wasn't just the rich, because it could be,
Oh yeah.
you know, stagecoaches that would have ordinary people on. I mean, they wouldn't, you know,
They wouldn't
wave
have
them
much.
on.
No,
They'd still nick stuff off them.
Yeah, they'd take anything they could. I mean, and some of this rolled on to the English Civil War, didn't it? When Cromwell came in and all that sort of thing as well. Because one of my highway persons was involved in politics. A family were involved in politics during that time and had lands taken off them, lands given back to them, lands taken off them, lands given back to them. So there was a lot of political turmoil over that period.
What started to kind of halt all this? Do we know anything about the decline of the highway person?
I think.
I think it was CCTV.
Yeah, cameras everywhere.
Could be.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think it was very much roads got better.
Yeah.
Transport got better.
Yeah, apparently one thing was turnpike roads.
Yes.
Because it's much harder to escape if, you know, there's going to be a turnpike nearby and it's, you know, to do it unobserved. But also things like guns became more available and more affordable to people.
So people would...
So it'd be quite likely if you're travelling on a stagecoach on a notorious route, you'd have a gun of your own.
I suppose people rode shotgun as well. You know, they'd have somebody perhaps sit on top of the coach with a gun.
Yeah, or you could
protect them.
issue the coachman with one, and then you know you see someone riding up. Right, okay, take the horse out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Death penalty became more the norm.
Yes,
You know, for them.
and also the railways.
Yep.
Of course, that would be a big sort of dent in the
Absolutely,
transport
because,
of
yeah,
stuff.
you can hardly ride up to a train and go, "Oi."
A few
Just go
people
past you.
A few people did. I've seen a couple of westerns where that happened.
I think the other thing too was that better banking.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to carry money because
Yeah, and also banknotes which have numbers on, so you can trace them.
Yeah. So as time moved forward, it got more and more difficult.
Yeah.
So then they went off to be pirates instead. No, I'm only joking.
But yeah, I mean, also stuff like the Industrial Revolution and like the growth in population, because if there are more people around, it's much harder to find a lonely place.
Yeah.
And of course, the expansion of towns with the railways.
Yeah.
meant there was more work too.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so probably less unemployment.
Yeah. So are we going?
Some famous ones.
Yes. So go on.
Yes.
Who's the?
Who's going to talk about Dick Turpin?
Go on, Mike. I know.
No, I haven't got much about Dick Turpin.
Have you not? Oh, go on, Carol.
I've just got his name. No, but he was born in Essex, and he was born into poverty. He was a member of the George Gary gang who did a lot of robbing, and then he went off and he became, self-employed.
And I thought he was
That's one
born.
way to put it.
He was born in Yorkshire.
Yeah. No, he was. He wasn't. He was born in Essex because
He operated in Essex.
I got onto a Yorkshire site and it said things about Dick Turpin that aren't true. He wasn't born in Yorkshire. He didn't have a horse called Black. It depends which one you read.
Well,
No, it does say here Essex, but died in York.
Oh,
yes,
right.
yeah.
And his grave is in York.
Yeah.
Because I've been.
Well, he was executed in York.
He was.
Yes.
Yes, he was. He got hung in York in 1739. He was aged 33, and he got hung for horse theft. He didn't get hanged because he was a highwayman. He got hung because he'd stolen a horse.
And apparently his legend grew afterwards.
After
his death.
Yeah. It became famous
through folklore and penny novels.
Yes.
Goes back to what we were saying.
Yes, exactly.
These people, these stories made for good reading.
Yes, when it's funny because when I did the research for this, I mean, I've only put a few down. They all died very young.
Yes.
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 Mm.
Well, it was a precarious.
It was a bit of a dangerous occupation. Yeah.
Mm.
So, has anybody got somebody?
But
to...
yeah, so apparently he may have followed his father into the butchering trade, which
Oh,
I imagine are
yes.
skills that he later turned to account in a different field.
Yes. I think he got bored with that, and that's what I read. He didn't really like it, sort of things. So.
Yeah. I think he possibly started off with deer thievery.
That would probably be with the George Gary. Come on, George and Gary.
Yeah.
No, it's the Gregory gang. Do you know what? It sounds like something out the Terrific Adventures of the Terrible. What's it? 5.
It does a bit, doesn't it?
Apparently, he was. I think we always said this, that he started off as a violent housebreaker.
Yes. Yeah.
And he had a history of torturing victims and burning them with hot irons to extract information about hidden valuables.
Oh, nasty.
I think
this isn't what you get in the ballads.
This is what you get in the ballads.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm sorry, Dick, but you deserve what you got if you do things like that.
Well, apparently he may have been a pub landlord as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I mean, I hope everyone paid on time for their drinks and stuff.
It's another interesting thing that apparently he had this mythical 200-mile ride from London to York on his horse, Black Bess.
Which he didn't have.
Which he didn't have. But the story was actually borrowed from another highwayman, John Nevison, and popularised again in the Victorian penny novels, decades after Turpin's death.
They borrowed it.
They borrowed somebody else's horse.
Reimagined it. Yeah.
But from the sound of it, he seemed to do an awful lot of just like breaking into houses with gangs and just ransacking them. So all this, gentleman of the road stuff, I'm not quite sure where it came from.
But it just shows what penny novels or writers
Penny Dreadfuls
can do to history.
Yeah.
They turned him from a brutal criminal into a romantic folk hero.
Yeah. And he wasn't. He was a bad boy. Yeah. He was a bad boy.
Yeah. I mean, the highway robbery only really started once the Essex gang had been broken up.
Yeah. When he went independent. Yeah. Well, the next one I've got is Catherine Ferris. So there were highway women.
Yes.
So the highway persons.
Well, we know that from Blackadder.
Of course we do. She was a gentlewoman and she was rich. She was nicknamed the Wicked Lady, but this was the one I was saying. Her family, from when she was born to when she died, they had land. They didn't have land because they were royalists. So when Cromwell took over, the land got took off them, and then when we became a principality again, they got their land back. So fortune came and went. So I'm not quite sure why she did what she did, because I don't think she would have starved if she didn't. I think she might have done it because she was bored. I'm not sure. And she died on the 13th of June, 1660, aged 26. There's a theme here, isn't there? But she wasn't hung. She died from gunshot wounds because somebody shot back at her, which is what we're saying about people getting their guns. Yes. She tried to hold somebody up. They shot back. She got hit and she died of her wounds. They said, the family said she died in childbirth with a big hole in her arm. No, they that's what they told everybody, because obviously they didn't want people to know that she was actually a villain sort of thing. But I thought that was, there was a lot of information about this, but we'd have got tied down in English old politics if I'd have put any more notes. But as I say, I remember seeing a series about a lady that became a highway woman. So probably based on something like that. She wasn't the only one. There were a couple of women that I saw.
So the other one I've got here is Claude Duval.
Yes.
An earlier one, 1643 to 1670. As you said, none of them lived very long. He was the gallant Frenchman, born in Normandy. And he came with a stereotypical gentleman highwayman. Stories tell of him dancing with female victims on the heath before politely robbing them, and always maintaining perfect manners during the crime.
So they say, yes. He was a non-violent. He was
a pacifist highwayman.
Yes.
He was apparently.
But he still had a gun.
Yeah, he once encountered. This is one of the famous tales. This would have made it into the ballads and so on.
Oh yeah.
Legend says he once encountered a coach with a lady inside playing a small flute, as you would. He invited her to dance on the roadside, then took only half her husband's money as payment for the entertainment. His love of London high society proved his undoing. He frequented fashionable venues and he was eventually recognised, captured, and being a gentleman, he was hung at Tyburn in 1660.
Strung up he was. Yeah.
27 when he died.
Yeah. What a waste.
Yeah.
And then I've got one called Jack Shepherd. Liz, have you got any that you want to read out?
I was just thinking about. I was also thinking about kind of popular depictions of, for example, Dick Turpin, and like Highwaymen generally. I mean, because I certainly remember when I was a kid, Dick Turpin the series.
Yes.
Richard O'Sullivan, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the horse Black Bess used to rear up and he'd stand and deliver.
Yeah, all I really remember is the horse rearing up, or him galloping on the horse, or like, you know, Big Black Cloak.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you anything about the plot.
No.
Was it a sort of Sunday tea time thing?
I think it probably was, yeah.
Which is an interesting thing if you think about it. I mean, you know, putting on a series about a criminal.
Yeah. Who's not really bad. But he was,
Of course
he
not.
was bad.
But it just shows how we can dress up history if we want.
Oh, yeah. But this is it. I mean, what we know and what's true is what we're told and what's true is two
Did
different
any of you
things.
see the Noel Fielding Dick
Yes.
Turpin?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
It made me laugh.
Yeah. Well, I think it was. Yeah, it was meant to.
It
I
was
guess.
too,
but-
yeah. Some people sort of said it was very silly, but it actually made me smile. So, you know, each to their own. This young Jack Shepherd, he was born into poverty in Spitalfields, where there's a very nice market. Get some beautiful hats there. In London, and he started his training to be a carpenter, which was quite, you know, it was a good trade to
Steady
have.
trade, yeah.
Yeah. But his lifestyle, he used to drink, gamble, and it said whore.
Oh, dear.
That put his carpentry apprenticeship into jeopardy, and then he got sacked eventually and progressed into a life of crime. But the thing he was known for more than being a highwayman was that his ability to escape prison. He was captured and escaped on 4 different occasions.
Wow.
And when you think he probably would have got hung on 4 different occasions as well. He was trying to escape on his last occasion. He was actually on his way to the gallows, and he had a knife in his pocket. He was going to uncut the rope that was keeping his hands tied together.
You really would think they would check for this sort of thing, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Didn't no body scanners then, and the knife broke. So he
dear.
was hung on the 16th of September 1724, and he was 22. He was known as Gentleman Jack, Jack the Lad, and Honest Jack.
Honest Jack.
Can I just say, if he was 22 and he'd escaped prison for... When on earth did he start?
Very young.
Clearly.
I think he started his apprenticeship as a carpenter when he was 14.
He
That would
would
make
probably even younger than
Yeah,
that, even. Yeah.
So,
I've got one here that lived to 75.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. How?
Mary Firth,
Ah.
Moll Cutpurse,
Oh, yes.
1584 to 1659. Apparently she was born to a middle-class family, but she rejected conventional feminine roles and dressed as a man throughout her adult life. She was a pickpocket, a fence, and a highway robber, rather. She made a career. After the bit of highway robbery, she made a career as a master fence. And she also expanded into other ventures, including running the Globe Tavern as a criminal meeting place and operating what was essentially an early escort service, providing attractive male escorts for wealthy women.
Yay!
Apparently in 1644, she spent some time in Bethlehem Hospital, which was Bedlam,
Yes, it was
you know,
the
yes.
madhouse, they called
the
it.
asylum,
Yeah.
suggesting she may have suffered from mental health problems, though the cures were unlikely to have been anything short of torture. She died of dropsy.
Oh,
Edema? Is that the right?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably had something called congestive cardiac
Right.
failure.
On Fleet Street in London about when she was 75. And according to legend, she asked to be buried face downwards in her grave, saying, "I'm unworthy to look upwards, and that as I have in my life been preposterous, so I may be in my death." And she was buried in St Bride's Churchyard on Fleet Street. And John Milton wrote her epitaph
Wow.
on her marble stone, which apparently was destroyed in the Great Fire of London.
So she was well known for somebody like that to write her.
Well, I think she was well known for all sorts
Yeah,
of...
she did a lot, didn't
yeah. Well, a lot of notorious
she?
things.
Lots of fingers in a lot of pies, yeah.
But obviously, the highway robbery bit was just a part
Just
of.
one of the things that she dipped her finger into.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen a fantastic image here. I mean, it's not very good for you listeners, but I'll just show it to my colleagues.
Knights of the Road.
Look at that. Black Bess.
Black
Yes.
Knights of the Road.
Or the Knight of the Road. And the picture is you've got a black horse who's sort of rearing up. And then you've got a man on a red coat with like a tricorn hat. And then another guy who's trying to grab the horse. And interestingly, Dick Turpin, who's presumably on the horse, has got the butt of his pistol. And he appears to be about to strike the person trying to get the bridle with the butt of the pistol. So he's not shooting them, he's being a good boy.
Just knocking them on their bonds.
Exactly. Yes. And it says at the top of it, numbers 1 and 2, and a magnificent picture printed in colours. Turpin leaps Bess over the horses of the mail coach. Sold by all newsagents everywhere. Price 1 penny.
Penny Dreadful.
I know, and it is a Penny Dreadful featuring Dick Turpin, and it's from 1866 to 68. So there you go.
Yeah.
And like I was saying earlier about, you feel like they're sort of more Victorian than
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yes.
do. Yeah,
ancient as
yeah.
you think.
Yeah.
So
Go back a long way, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I suppose they were being made popular in Victorian times.
Yes.
Weren't they? With,
Yes,
with the
yes.
ballads and
it was
the
Harrison
broadsheets and
Ainsworth,
what have you.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody likes the idea of like a hero who takes from people that don't need it and gives it to people that are desperate. You know, I think that's the image, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I can think of something more recent when you think the great train robbers.
Yeah.
The chap who escaped and went off to Spain.
Yeah.
He was almost
he was a hero.
a hero of some
Yeah.
sort. Yeah, and yet the actual robbery, they were quite violent.
Didn't he end up in Rio? Didn't he end up living there for a while?
I don't know, but the
Ronnie
Biggs.
Thank you.
Yeah. But various programs made about him, and you could see how he was becoming.
Yeah.
Through history, through in this stage, stories written about him.
And that wasn't that long ago.
No,
it's recent history, that, isn't it? I think did they shoot one member of the railway?
There was certainly violence towards the
Yeah.
people on the train.
And I can't remember whether that person eventually died or whether they were just very badly hurt. I can't remember now. That doesn't mean that that they should have got away with it, sort of thing.
But it just shows, doesn't it, that writing is a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
And that if you've got access to an audience, you can manipulate stories.
Yeah.
And quite often in the past, as we've been talking about with the Highwaymen, these stories have been manipulated for no other reason than to sell these
Newspapers,
pennies,
stories.
penny dreadfuls and so on.
I mean, what we've got today is sort of being drowned with opinion because of social media. And you never know what you read, whether you're reading something that's true or whether it's made up. It used to be, what was it? Only believe half of what you read. No, was it half of what you see and nothing of what you read, or something like that? And you can't believe anything now.
But I mean, I wonder if it is any different than if we'd been living in Victorian England, when all our news would have come from either word of mouth or newspapers.
Yeah.
Or being fed by the government as well.
Well, or just fed by
newspapers which were owned by people with an agenda.
Yep.
We still get that now, don't we?
Absolutely.
Making money. You know, and back in those days, there wasn't even the choice for people to get alternative views.
No.
There is with social media. Fair enough, you have to be careful how you use it. But back in those days, that was the only way to find out information was through the newspapers usually, or through word of mouth.
The sort of education you got would have been designed to keep you in your place.
Yeah.
No, well, I remember going round it had been a convent. It was now a railway station in Portugal. and beautiful tiles on the wall depicting stories from the Bible. And of course, you see that in churches as well. And stupid me didn't realise that this is how they taught the Bible stories to the ordinary folk that couldn't read or couldn't get hold of books, even if they could read.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they taught them, like about Christianity and the tales of Jesus and all this sort of thing, and battles as well. There was a battle on one of these walls, so it was again people who put those pictures up may have changed the end line, mightn't they? The tagline.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure they have. I mean, all big organisations, whether it's governments or whether it's churches, have always had an influence on history.
Yeah.
That they have told the stories.
Yeah. Well, if you look at what's happening in the States at the moment, and various websites disappearing, web pages disappearing as if they've never been there at all.
Yeah.
Bit worrying.
Yeah.
Oh, so highwaymen. I mean, we have this saying, don't we? That's highway robbery. When we think we've been fleeced, when we've bought something or whatever, and that's where it comes from. It comes from all those years of people taking something when they were on the highway. Have we got any more names? I've been through all mine. I've been through all my highwaymen and women.
Not really. I think just what this emphasises is just how important stories are.
Yeah.
I should imagine the original stories about Dick Turpin would have been coming from the people he's just robbed.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have been very good stories.
No.
But after he's dead, and maybe some of the victims have also gone, it's great. Somebody picks up this thing, this will make a great story. If I mix it up with this chap who had this horse called Black Bess, and this,
Yeah, and I do wonder if, charging him with horse theft rather than anything else, it was an attempt to play it down a bit.
Yeah.
Say, you're just a common thief, you.
Yeah. Don't make him something he's not. Because if you come back to modern day, some serial killers want to be caught because they want to be infamous.
Yeah. When you think somebody must have, after his death, somebody must have written an article, a story about Dick Turpin and pitched it to an editor.
Yeah.
And the editor said, like this, got any more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you end up making them up, don't you? Yeah. Okay, that was an interesting one. I wasn't sure whether we'd have enough. We often say this, don't we?
We often say this.
We won't have enough material, but then there's the three of us, and we can talk for Great Britain. So we'll end it there, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Please, pass comments and ask us if you want a particular subject covering, and if we can, we will. So until this time next week, bye for now. You have been listening to Only Murders in My Mind, a Random Thought production, produced by John Bissett. The music in Peril was composed and recorded by OM Studio Strings.